Coach, when the conversation started out about a spring season and even a winter season, you were really opposed to that. But now that you've had some time to think about it, what are your feelings about it?
Well, I'm still very opposed to spring. Spring won't happen. I don't see any probability of actually having a spring season. I've talked to many colleagues, and the reality is that you would have to change the following 2021 season. And the chance of putting two seasons in one calendar year, that conversation is going to have to stop, because that won't happen. The one that's interesting, Jerry, is a January, February, a shortened season, but I think Nick Saban said it best, that might become a JV type outfit. And that means that the great players who actually earn the right to go play professional football won't play. And I can understand that as well. Is it now you're hearing a lot of conversation, Jerry, about November, potentially even in October. And now I'm hearing dialogue about, if that happens, then they can't be involved in the college football playoff because the SEC, ACC, and Big 12 are going to start. So this is a very complex conversation to have.
If we did have a winter season, how long do you need to get a Big Ten team ready based on what they're doing right now?
Before we go there, I want your thoughts on this and just a conversation about this. So right now, there's a buzzword that in the beginning of time, when a coach starts and you take over a program, the word competitive disadvantage is something that really no one should ever be involved in. I mean, obviously you have to recruit your players, but the amount of practice time, preparation time, everything should be equal. But you're looking at a very significant competitive disadvantage for the Pac-12 and Big Ten, and here's why. Say a team has 9 or 10 practices in the spring, which some did, and all of a sudden you're now getting 25 to 30 practices in the fall in training camp, and the Ohio State's not, or the Wolverines are not, or the USC Trojans are not. That's a significant competitive disadvantage, and here's why. Football is a very unique sport. The only other sports that I can even think of that are close are hockey, post position in basketball, maybe lacrosse. I don't know lacrosse that well yet. I've watched it, but the physical sports, football it's a contact sport. It's driven by blocking and tackling, and I put ball security down there as well. I talked to a coach that they haven't had contact since last December. Their first scrimmage, there were 10 fumbles in that scrimmage, 10. If you don't ever have contact, how do you teach that? Same thing, how do you teach blocking and tackling? You can do those, put the pads out there and roll, and that's not tackling. That's a development skill that's a stage to get ready to tackle. And same thing with blocking. How many times can you hit a bag? Bags don't move, bags don't weigh 300 pounds, and bench press 450. How do you do that? That's a significant conversation piece right now among coaches. How in the world can you expect Ohio State or the Big Ten and the Pac-12 to be on the same competitive level as an Auburn or a Clemson, et cetera, that they're just getting better, and the other schools are not?
But Urban, wouldn't the Big Ten and the Pac-12, if they had a winter season, wouldn't they get what they're missing right now? I don't understand why you just replace the SEC's doing things now that the Big Ten's not. So obviously at this moment in time, the SEC may have an advantage because they're doing what you said. They're developing their players. They're blocking, they're tackling. If the Big Ten played in the winter, wouldn't that be a chance for the Big Ten schools to catch up?
Sure. If it happens, like I said, I don't necessarily see it happening. Remember, then, if you have a winter season, I mean, you can just start putting numbers to it. And then, the SEC, Big 12, ACC has spring practice, and then it just becomes cumulative. That here's this young 17, 18, 19-year-old player that his body's developing. He goes from 280 pounds to 320. He's getting used to, and then obviously the physicalness of the sport. Yeah, it's just, certainly there's a chance, to answer your question, we all know that, to catch up if they are practicing and the other schools are not. But remember, even if they start in January, those teams are all in bowl practice. If there's bowl games, there's bowl practices, et cetera. The point is, if there is a chance to catch up, I hope they do. If not, you're looking at a significant developmental disadvantage, competitive disadvantage, that is right now a hot topic amongst coaches certainly in the Big Ten. I don't know about the Pac-12. Certainly in the Big Ten.